60, huh?
360. All right. So we're going to make this short, sweet, and we're going to give some examples.
Gotcha.
All right. So first off, to anybody that's listening, you know what I'm saying, if you're an artist or whatever, understand that there's two types of deals, generally, really. It's a lot of different deals that kind of fall under the umbrella of these two deals, but there's two types of deals. You got the traditional deal, the traditional record deal, which is, they put up money for your album. You're signed to the deal for so many albums or so many basically, years or whatever. You receive points or what they call royalties from the sales and marketing of that album, and you get an advance, which is really just a loan, to build your brand in that album. Everything is structured around the album. We're going to name that the traditional deal. Meaning you will recoup your income from other sources that is attached to your brand name, like shoe deals, makeup deals, perfume deals, going out and actually, touring and stuff like that. That's why so many rappers who are in the traditional deal, it was a time where they made money just off of touring and appearances. Back in our day, we used to have rappers actually come down to certain record shops and sign autographs. That money that the record shops actually paid them, they made money off of that. That went strictly into their pockets. But the 360 deal doesn't work like that. Basically, the 360 deal works where it's not about your albums. It's about your brand name. And a brand name is basically what you go by. Like, if you're the Game is his brand name. If you're 50 Cent is your brand name. And how it works, to sweeten it all up, make it long story short, anything attached to your name, they get a percentage off of. Now, the beautiful part about it is your advances and everything is going to be way larger. You have basically a credit limit that is substantial because they're building up that brand name. The gain of it is you have a lot more finance, typically, to really, work on other projects, your records. You want to go over here and you want to do some shoes, you're touring, this, that, and the third. It works out a whole lot better. However, understand that this money is also just a loan that the record labels is actually they want that money back due to your success. And on the recuperation side of them, or what we call the ROI, which is return of investment, they're going to take points, which basically is how they're going to get a percentage of the money in everything that you do underneath that brand name. So if you're an artist, anything like touring, your shoe deal, your internet deal, they're going to get a percentage off of that. Because basically what happened, about the 90s, they kind of switched over from more traditional record deals to 360 deals because artist records wasn't recouping back the income that they actually put out. So the industry was getting in debt. And because of, many different factors, the album didn't do too good, the marketing wasn't too good. Piracy was the number one factor in it. And piracy being, you know what that is. Y'all motherfuckers burning y'all goddamn records. Burning my CDs. Burning my CDs. Bootsy said it best. The worst thing they could have did was let people have two things in this world. Caller ID and a CD burner. Because, it was over then. One person bought a CD, the whole hood got it. I need to go to Sam Goody. I don't need to go to, local records. It's like, I don't even go to the local record store. This shit, my homeboy got it. I'm going to go to his house and get some blank CDs, Walmart, and good old Memorex, and I'm bringing me a magic marker because, you know what I'm saying, I gotta know what it is. And I'm going to go over there, and he got the CD burner, right? I'm going to go ahead and let that nigga burn that shit. And, yeah, I'm going to have that shit, y'all. Just make sure that the Memorexes didn't stay out in the sun because, oh, my God, how many CDs have you lost? Because you let that shit stay out in the sun, boss. Real talk. Man. Real talk, bro. How many CDs did you lose, bro?
Man, I know I lost about, a lot, you know what I'm saying? And you're right, though, because I ain't even going front. I've been one of them cats, like, yo, I look at it like it was a come up, like, yo, I ain't got to pay $15 no more for a CD? Oh, man, the game didn't change.
What? Tremendously. You know what I'm saying? And that's where, really artists, and I have to thank and give recognition to the late, great Prince. Prince was one of the first artists who was like, I don't want my CD even put in stores. He was one of the first artists. It was an album. I remember when he put it out. You could only purchase the album online and download it. And I think that album, if I'm not mistaken, went platinum because people had no other choice but to get the album online. Now, with record companies like, your Interscopes or this or that, your Def Jams, what they didn't anticipate in the game was that these downloads, the internet, they didn't put stake into that. So you had more other groups coming in and basically creating the companies that we know today, like the Apple Musics, the titles, you know what I'm saying, which are all streaming services. They didn't even anticipate that, which I feel like that was they fuck up because, I mean, you can't think that people going, times is changing. You know what I mean? People ain't going to always be at the record stores, especially where you take the record stores out the hood. I mean, I remember, man, what was it? What was the No Limit area? What was the No Limit era like? I'd say in the good 99, 98?
Yeah, I'd say about 98, 99.
Man, do you remember when Master P had an album coming out off the tank every single month? You had at least 3 albums every single month. I lie to you not. If you listen and you know what I'm talking about, anything with the tank on it, you bought it in those years. Straight up. Just CDs. You was going to your local record store, wherever it was, where, whatever, and what you was doing is you was paying, I think it was about $16.99 at the time. About $16.99? Unless it was a double disc, and that was about $32. But you bought that disc, and you made bank off that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was good music. That's when songs was, like, a CD was, like, almost 21 songs. But on the business side, let me let y'all understand. Master P, I got to give him the number 2 slot because Suge Knight and Death Row, they were like, and Luke Campbell, can't forget about Uncle Luke. They were one of the first people to own distributing rights. Now, let me let y'all know how this works. And then we're going to go into the whole 360 deal side. See, back then, they bought distributing rights. They put up their own money to get a piece of the distribution rights to the music. That's why everybody on No Limit Records had the best deals in the industry because not only was they getting money off of shows and marketing and, their CDs, but they were getting 50-50 basis on it. Meaning, if the CD sold for, let's say, $15, they was at least getting $5. They were getting $5, the artist. The No Limit Records was getting $5, and then the distributor was getting $5. And it was good business. They had the best deals in the industry. Nobody at that time was giving out deals like that. Death Row with Suge Knight was doing the same thing with Interscope Records. That's why Interscope and Death Row, it was so amazing, because they had better deals than anybody else. Now, I'll say this. Today, it works like this. Let's take the 50 Cent issue for example. You know, and a lot of people have been in controversy about his deal. When 50 Cent came out, he signed a deal, actually, you know, that was kind of, you know, I would say my man Steve Stout, and we'll get into who Steve Stout is later. When Steve Stout actually, you know what I'm saying, kind of put him on the deal with a lot of other people and stuff like that, he signed a deal with Shady Aftermath, meaning he was under Shady Records, which is under Aftermath Records, which is distributed by Interscope Records. Okay? So you got Jimmy Iovine, Dr. Dre, Eminem, and then you got 50. Okay? The deal was good for him because in the beginning, because he had a buzz, but he didn't have the major buzz that Interscope put out through marketing dollars. So his deal was good. He signed a deal that he was on the contract for so many records, and that was it. Okay? Now, it worked for him. And I don't know if anybody can remember, but there was a time when you didn't hear from 50 Cent. After, I believe, the Curtis album, it's like he went straight AWOL. And the reason why he went AWOL is because his contract was up with Interscope Records. So anything that would have been put out by 50 Cent, Interscope was going to get a piece of, because they had not released him from his contract and re-upped his deal. That's why the albums that you've seen him do independently, it was a better look for 50 Cent, because now his brand name marketing of 50 Cent is so high that he didn't really need a major distributor like Interscope or anything, because his name sold the product, and the product was the music. So even though if the project only went gold, he made the majority bulk of the money being independent. So, you know, a 360 deal works for you if you work for it. So if you have the brand name to go behind it, you can recoup a lot more money, and it gives you a line of credit to go into other projects and deals, like Jay-Z in the Tidal deal, or like Kanye West. Kanye has a lot of deals on the table that a lot of people don't even know about, but he's using his 360 deal to offer him that line of credit to put the money up so that he can recoup back money from it. Now, here's the bullshit of the 360 deal. Certain record companies, they drag their feet to cut you that check, and that's why 50 had to file bankruptcy and stuff, because he was waiting for his money to come. And I'm talking about tens of millions of dollars. These are the royalty points and stuff like that, the things that 50 himself would receive at the end of his deal. But they drag out that process. And a lot of major labels today use that, because it's like, when they drag out that process, they want you to hurry up and settle for a less